Well, a hot tip for model makers and something that's good for the environment as well. What's not to like? Hi everyone, welcome back to St Blazey Model World. I'm Roger. There is no doubt about it, painting our models and our scenery is one of the best parts of the hobby, and it brings our work to life. But afterwards comes a slightly less interesting part of making sure that our painting equipment is clean. Stick around, I'll show you one way to test. Well, if you're a slightly older modeler like my good self, you might not realise that your eyes are not as sharp as they once used to be. I certainly have realised, but it's not something we like to admit, is it? So how can we tell when our painting equipment is really clean? Now for this hot tip, it does not matter if you've gone with the acrylic paint or the enamel paint. The principle still applies, and it applies just as well if you use the paintbrush or an airbrush. And those little bits that we miss, they could be the difference between having our equipment ready for next time or sadly not. So how can we test? Well, it's very easy. Once we finish painting, either with the paintbrush or the airbrush or in acrylic paint or in enamel paint, we test our painting equipment. How can we do that and in an environmental way? Let's have a quick look. Now in this example I'm using some orange acrylic paint with the paintbrush, but it doesn't matter. As I said earlier on, the principle is exactly the same. So let's see the results. Didn't really try very much. Thought it was clean, but maybe the camera has picked it up there. There is still some orange there. And now it is clean. And if we move across to this darker colour paper, we can see the same kind of results. Why would I use darker colour paper? Well, it's very easy. If you're painting in a colour, then white paper is fine. But of course, if you've used white paint, you do need a darker colour paper to test the principle. Just remember, it's exactly the same for the paintbrush and the airbrush. Once you think it's clean, give it a test. And now for the environmental hot tip. Don't waste your brilliant new expensive paper on this exercise. The mailman's been, the postman here in the UK we call them. And I've kept some of the envelopes because I knew I was doing some painting and I knew I needed to test my cleaning of my painting equipment. Reuse, recycle, repurpose. We all know it's the way forward, but how many of us actually do it? There we go. Hot tip number 3 from St Blazey. We'll see you next time. Stay safe. Bye for now.